Avicenna's central position in the history of Islamic philosophy becomes evident when one considers the three approaches to Aristotle's metaphysics: classification, commentary, adaptation, as well as the major school of thought of the formative period, Kindian on the one hand and Farabian-Baghdadian on the other, ended or began to wane with the rise of Avicennan metaphysics. An example of this are the two extremely influential textbooks of the Quranic school, madrasas, that consist of the acceptance or rejection of Avicenna's perspective. Baghdadi 1231 conceived of metaphysics as a mere juxtaposition of the Indian and Farabian perspectives on metaphysics. Ibn Sabin Murcia, at about the same time, together with the trends of acceptance or rejection, indicate that this trend of revision extended over a significantly longer period than the pre-Avicennan phase of the Avicennan metaphysics.
Ibn Rushd Averroes, following Aristotle, takes us that in order to understand the world, we need to understand the causes of things. It is not enough to know what something is, but also what it is made of, how it came about, and what its purpose is. Furthermore, he emphasized a fundamental principle: nothing comes from nothing. Everything that exists and changes needs a basis, an underlying matter. This seemingly simple idea has profound implications, as it shows us that the world is governed by laws and processes, and not by arbitrary interventions. Ibn Rushd Averroes criticizes those who defend Christian from nothing, showing that philosophy is essential to understanding nature and even religion in a deeper way. Averroes, following Aristotle, defines natural philosophy as the adity of everything that exists in the natural world and subject to change. But he does not stop there. He places physics as the central point of his study, the key to understanding the universe around us. More than that, he argues that the in-depth study of physics and theoretical sciences in general is not just an intellectual exercise, but rather a path to our own perfection as human beings, a path to true happiness. He believed that before we can seek to be good, just, and courageous, we need to understand the world we live in. Theoretical knowledge would therefore be foundation for a virtuous life.
Since Aristotle, philosophy has been divided into theoretical, which seeks knowledge as Saka, and practical, which seeks to apply knowledge to life. Within theoretical philosophy, the study of nature was central. In natural philosophy, we find key concepts that are relevant, such as body, extension, movement, change, time, place, finitude and infinity, and nature itself. The Persian philosopher Avicenna organized his philosophical encyclopedia, The Cure, dividing it into logic, mathematics, and natural science of the divine. The doctrine of human soul was part of natural science. Averroes was a great scholar and commentator on the works of Aristotle. He followed the organization of the Aristotelian corpus made by Andronicus of Rhodes, which included the work on the soul within the physical treatises. This work, although it deals with the soul, is considered physical because it deals with living natural beings, including humans and their sensory and thought capacities. The main physical works of Aristotle commented on by Averroes are Physics, on the heavens, on generation and corruption and materiology. The treatise Physics is the most extensive on natural philosophy. Averroes believed in the unity of this treatise and sought a coherent and unified interpretation of Aristotle. Averroes wrote different types of commentaries: Zero and Aristotle's Physics, long, median and short, as well as essays on physical questions. The historical importance of the study of nature in philosophy show how inquiry into the natural world was fundamental to ancient and medieval philosophers, and how this laid the foundations for modern science. The role of Averroes as a transmitter of Aristotelian knowledge explain how Averroes preserved and interpreted Aristotle's works, making them accessible to later generations.
Averroes defends the need for a substate and underlying matter for all change and generation. He criticizes Muslim theologians who defend creation from nothing nihilo, emphasizing the importance of philosophy for understanding nature. Aristotle's four causes. Averroes reaffirms the four causes as an explanation for the existence of things. Material, of what it is made. Formal, the form or essence. Efficient agent, who or what produces. Final purpose, the purpose. The three principles. In addition to the four causes, Aristotle and Averroes following him also consider the three principles, which are the form, that is, the determination that defines something. Matter, that is, the substate that receives the form. Privation, that is, the absence of the form before its actualization. Need for a substrate. The central point here is the defense that nothing arises from nothing. For something to change or be generated, there must be something pre-existing that undergoes the change, a substrate or underlying matter. Averroes cites the treatise On the Substance of the Universe to reinforce this argument, criticizing those who doubt this basic premise. Averroes criticizes Muslim theologians who, out of custom, defend creation ex nihilo. He argues that this bad custom has destructive effects, as it prevents the proper understanding of nature and even makes it difficult to learn religious law, the Sharia, and other science. Induction as a method. Averroes mentions that Aristotle uses induction, that is, reasoning from the particular to the general, to reach the conclusion of the need for a substrate. The nature of ordinary matter. The underlying matter, or first matter hyle, is numerically one and has no substantial characteristics in itself. It is pure potentiality, capable of receiving different forms. Averroes disagrees with Avicenna, who attributed dimensions to primary matter.
Arab philosophy received, translated, commented on and adapted Aristotelian metaphysics, making it one of the pillars of philosophically thought in region. Taxonomy. In this approach, Arab philosophers sought to classify and situate metaphysics within Aristotelian corpus, defining its place and importance in the system of knowledge. The hierarchy of knowledge in Averroes and his understanding of relationship between logic, physics, metaphysics and ethics is a crucial point for understanding his philosophical system. It follows the Aristotelian structure as previously mentioned, but with important nuances, with logic as the foundation of knowledge. For Averroes, logic is the fundamental tool for correct thinking and therefore precedes all other areas of knowledge. It teaches how to argue validly, to distinguish between correct and fallacious arguments, and to organize thought in a systematic way. It is a prerequisite. Logic is knowledge about the world itself, but rather about the way we think about the world. Therefore, it should be studied for physics, metaphysics and ethics, as it provides the necessary tools for research in the theoretical sciences mentioned above. Deus with human action, moral conduct and the search of happiness. It investigates the principles that should guide our actions and lead us to a virtuous life. For Averroes, ethics depends on theory, that is, on the knowledge acquired through the logic of physics and metaphysics. He argues that we can only act correctly if we understand human nature and the world in which we live. Theoretical knowledge provides us with the wisdom necessary to make sound ethical decisions. Averroes believed that the acquisition of theoretical knowledge, culminating in the understanding of metaphysics, which is the first philosophy, was essential for human perfection and search for truth was considered the highest form of existence. The influence of metaphysics on Arab philosophy was profound and lasting, shaping the philosophical and theological thought of the region centuries. If you made it this far, thank you for watching the content, this brief demonstration of the thought and philosophical implications of Averroes.